My first video I posted on TikTok was 2019, and then April 2022 was when I hit 1 million.
Wow.
As soon as I started making videos on YouTube, I was like, oh, this feels like more me.
You live with ChrisMD, I'm right in thinking,
Yeah.
and Arthur Hill. So how's that dynamic?
Chris is the mother of the house. Arthur, he's forgetful.
Would you ever start a YouTube group, do you think?
I think,
We've got to talk about the Sidemen charity game as well.
yeah.
You had a pretty iconic moment in that. It makes it 9-8 in the 88th minute, and you're playing at Wembley Stadium.
That's insane to even say out loud.
I want to start talking about how you've sort of transitioned into the mainstream. What was your honest thoughts on Inside?
It was genuinely one of the most physically and emotionally draining things I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
And of course now, you are going in Strictly Come Dancing. How good are you at dancing?
I feel like I can understand rhythm. I just can't prove it.
But you're going to win it, right? Hello, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry Unfiltered with myself, Adam Smith. Delighted to have this man on the pod because he's extremely busy. I don't know how to refer to this guy, actually. He's an internet personality, TikToker, comedian, I might chuck in there.
I don't know about that.
YouTuber, and soon-to-be dancer. It is George Clarkey. George, thank you for coming on, mate.
That might be the best intro I've ever had.
Anything I missed out on there?
Fraud, maybe?
Really? We'll cut that bit out. You're not a fraud at all. You're a very talented man. There's a lot I want to dissect with you because there's loads to talk about. So let's start as we always do. Growing up, where did your sort of love for content come from?
I feel like I feel like I hopped on the sort of YouTube train like fairly early because I feel like these days, sort of growing up, everybody's watching YouTube. But
Yeah.
I remember I always used to come back from school, get on my little iPad mini, get a packet of crisps, and just sit there and just scroll through just so much nonsense. I'd be watching like playthroughs of games that I wasn't even interested in, but I was just like, I kind of like this guy. So I'd be, that would be literally like every day I'd do that. And I must have been like sort of 11, 12, which, I mean, that's fairly early to, I think, sort of 2011, 2012 sort of time.
It's interesting you say that you were sort of, it wasn't the content, but it was the people that you were attracted to. So who were like your biggest inspirations, would you say?
In my head there, when I was thinking about going back and watching little playthroughs, I used to watch this guy called Nerd Cubed.
Right.
He's just like some sort of gamer guy. I used to watch a lot of the blokes that I make videos with now. Yeah. Used to watch growing up, sort of. Joe Sugg was a big one.
Yeah, I bet.
Used to watch a lot of Joe Weller.
Yeah.
Wasn't
it was massive
just
at the time,
Joe's.
was it? Still big, but there was an era for where Joe was massive.
I used to come into school and everyone, and a couple of guys used to constantly just be like, "Do you want to stop pretending to be Joe Weller?"
Really?
I'm sorry.
I just want to be him.
Yeah. No, but so that a lot of the Sidemen stuff used to watch. Yeah. Literally just. I don't think I've ever told Chris this. I think I've probably in podcasts said this, and he may have seen clips or whatever. But I think if you asked me like 5-6 years ago who my favourite YouTuber was, I would have said Chris.
Would you, ChrisMD?
Yeah. And now
who you now live with?
Yeah, that's a good blackmailing tool for him to have now. Now that he knows that.
On a serious note, that must be quite an incredible pinch me moment that you've mentioned Joe Weller there, you mentioned ChrisMD, you've mentioned the Sidemen. These are all people you collab with, work with now. So first time that comes about, how is that for you? Are you quite nervous in those environments?
Yeah, I think
we're just playing it cool.
I think luckily, I think what's a nice way that UK YouTube works is, whereas I feel like American is very much like sort of messaging people you might not necessarily know and just like fancy a collab. Yeah. Here it seems to be much more. You may have seen each other sort of 2-3 times beforehand, and you sort of know of each other. You're in the same group. Like there seems to be some sort of like understanding there, and then you're like, oh, I reckon they'd be good in a video.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it was through playing football, the sort of Shoreditch five-a-side everyone sort of played. I'd played a few times with a lot of them. So when they said like fancy being in a video, it was still very much like, okay, cool. Yes, I know I'm a YouTuber, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was still like wild to me that was a thing that was happening.
It's amazing. I'm going to come on to that. I'm going to come on to your flat house situation, who you live with, all the collaborations. I'm intrigued to know that when you first started, because you're talking about watching content there, your inspiration. First time you did anything in front of camera, how did you learn that? Did you teach yourself that? How natural did you find that process?
I didn't find it natural at all. I think my first video I posted on TikTok was back end of 2019. I think this was just when TikTok was becoming like normal and not just like
dances.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, there's this trending sound going around. I'll do a little dumb sketch to that. Did it, didn't expect anything of it. And then I think by the end of the day after, it was on like 2.5 million views or something. And I was like, okay, that's insane. Posted a video the next day and it completely stunk. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not as easy as I thought. But after that, I literally just didn't really post. Maybe like sort of 3-4 times a month until, like if that, until May 2021, which is when I handed my last uni assignment in. And I was like, I'm here just getting pissed for a month. May as well post a video a day, see what happens. And I think
And that was a video a day?
Yeah, just one video a day. And I was like, so the most I'd done before that was like one video a week. So I was like, sure, go for it. I think I'd got like 60, 70K maybe followers at that point. I hadn't spoke yet. It was all sort of just captions and stuff.
That's interesting.
So speaking to the camera was like a new thing for me. I think I started that in that month as well. Started doing a series called The Reduced Section Picks My Meal For Me.
Yeah.
Because that was basically what it was doing anyway, because I was just sort of uni student. So I was like, I might as well make this into content. So sort of went there with my little camera, and I had a way more Bristolian accent then as well. I've realised because in Bristol everyone was like, oh, you sound really posh. But then when I was in Exeter, which is like known for being quite a posh uni, everyone said I sounded like a farmer, and I never understood it until I watched back the clips now, and I'm like, you know what, maybe a little bit.
Maybe I understand it. What was the reaction of your family when you started doing content? And was there a moment when you thought this can actually be a full-time job? Because I'm guessing at the start you just did it for a bit of fun, right? And you saw the numbers grow. Yeah,
I think there was, because a lot of people are like, oh, what was your like strategy? And I was like, there was never really like, I mean, I guess post daily, see what happens was the strategy. I don't know if that's. So you can't exactly go into a boardroom and go, hey, should we just see what happens, guys? And
I'll delete my next question. What was your next strategy?
But yeah, so I was like, that was sort of where I was, sort of my, I guess, plan that I had. There was no real like, this is going to become a job soon. But I never even told my family about it until they went for like a meal with like a family friend. And my dad came back and was like, oh, they told us about your TikTok. And I was like, what? But he's sort of in and amongst this world. He does like he works for Aardman, like the TV, the film production company. So does Wallace and Gromit and Shaun the Sheep and stuff. Yeah. So he's somewhat
my little boy's mad on Shaun the Sheep.
Oh, really?
I know it really well. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. He's Shaun the Sheep.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he sort of like somewhat understands the world more than
that's interesting. Yeah.
somebody else may. So he was like, look, I mean, it looks like you're doing well. If it carries on, like, we're happy to support you. But if it starts to tail off, you do need to go and find yourself a job, because at this point I was obviously living at home.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Borderlands 4. Right, the wait is finally over. Borderlands 4 is out now, and it is absolute mayhem. You will not want to miss this. You're dropped into Kairos, a chaotic new planet ruled by a fella called the Timekeeper, who's basically a cosmic control freak with a serious grudge. You pick one of 4 Vault Hunters, each fully customizable, each properly powerful, and get stuck in with big weapons, wild movement, and over-the-top action. There's 4-player online co-op, level scaling so everyone stays in the mix, and enough spoils to keep everyone busy for weeks. So it's everything you love about Borderlands, but turned up to 11. Oh, and it's PEGI 18, so please keep the little ones away. Search Borderlands 4, grab your copy, and get ready to cause some carnage. Huge thank you to Borderlands 4 for sponsoring our podcast, Inside the Industry Unfiltered. Make sure you check out the game. Let's get back to the episode.
That must have been big for you, though, that support and the understanding. Because obviously, I've had a lot of people sit in this chair and say the sort of their parents' generation, obviously YouTube wasn't a thing. So to be fair, they don't understand that as a career choice, and it can go one or two ways. So that must have been big for you having that support early on.
It was really nice. It was a sort of conversation, not I was dreading to have. I guess it was a conversation I wasn't thinking I needed to have, because at the time I think I was on like 230K followers on TikTok, which is still a lot, but it's... I know people can sort of survive off that and make money off that. I wasn't making any money from my TikTok at that point in time. So I was like, it feels like a weird thing to sort of say. It just felt like a bit of fun on the side. But yeah, then after he said that, I think that was when I was like, oh, maybe it could become a job. So I was like, I'll just keep posting and see what happens. Same strategy.
It's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Worked for you.
But yeah, just kept trying different formats. And then yeah, eventually it just sort of happened. I think like maybe, so I think April 2022 was when I hit 1 million.
That's a quick
Yeah,
growth,
so that was like, and that's when I joined my management and started actually like then felt like, okay, I'm making money now. This is a job. But it was basically a year of calling it a job, but
got you.
not really earning the money to be like, this is a job.
Why TikTok to start with?
I honestly, if I was just like, if I were to sort of sit down and try and think why I posted the video in the first place, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I think that is why TikTok, because it's so easy and you can make it so flippantly.
Yeah.
I was making gaming videos on YouTube just with my friends, not promoting it anywhere. I think I got like 100 subs from it. And I was literally spending like 10 hours editing these videos. And I was like, I was editing on a software on my PlayStation as well.
Oh wow!
So I was
Not the quickest way to edit.
No, really not. And I got like a little USB to like download PNGs onto, and I'd stick it in my PlayStation, and I'd play songs through my headset to record it as a voiceover, and the song would be as like it was really sort of round the houses way to make a video.
Is that just for saving money, effectively? Cost-effective way of doing it.
I guess I just didn't know how to take the footage from my PlayStation, because there's just a button to record it, and then put it onto like a PC and then edit. So I was like, I guess this is how I'll do it. And then, but yeah, I'd sit there for like full days just on my little controller editing it. Like, makes no sense whatsoever, and for like 30 people to watch it.
Yeah.
But to me, that was like, that's so cool, because I don't know these 30 people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And also the graph that you've put in there to get to where you are, it's probably grounded you quite a lot and made you appreciate where you are now with all your followers, because you've worked hard to get there.
Yeah, I think I've always tried to, I mean, people will probably, I'll say this and people will probably just pull up TikToks and be like, that was no effort whatsoever. But I think where I tried to build from was like putting effort into a TikTok, like have like I'd sort of make them mini YouTube videos not in terms of like sort of, I don't know if you've seen Max Fosh's TikToks that he makes where it's like, okay, that's a mini YouTube video, but it would have like a premise. It would be like 1.5 minutes long. This was before doing it for a minute actually benefited you. So everybody was making like 15-second TikToks. I'll be doing like 1.5 minutes of just waffling about just like a random subject. And that was basically like how I was growing. And I was like, then from that 1.5 minutes, because I'd make a video and I'd be like, I've got like 3 minutes here but no one's going to sit and watch a TikTok
on TikTok for 3 minutes.
So I was like, YouTube always made sense for like a transition for me. Number one, because the TikToks I was making were insanely long. And number two, because I've been watching it since I was a kid and it's always been what I like wanted to do.
Okay, yeah. I know what you mean by your TikTok strategy, actually. You were definitely, from an early stage, going above and beyond compared to what a lot of people were doing on TikTok. I watched a recent one. It was for a mobile phone brand, a hashtag ad that you did.
Yeah.
And it was basically about the phone that you had. But it was like the thought that went into it. There was like the premise, the hook. There was so many editing. There was graphic overlays. It was like, and that's just for a paid partnership, effectively, I'm guessing. But the effort that you went into on that is a lot more than I would see everyone do on TikTok. And I think, do you think that's partly why you moved into YouTube, as you were sort of alluding to there, is because you felt like your content could be longer?
I think so, yeah. And also, like with like branded stuff, I've always been like, I don't want it to just, obviously everybody knows you get paid to make brand videos. I don't want it to seem like I've gone, cool, let me just take that money and run. I still want it to be a premise that, great. I still want it to be a premise that people can somewhat watch and enjoy. Like, and yeah, that's sort of the way I've always attacked that. But yeah, as you say, like when I started making TikToks, it would just be the edit of like whichever clips put together, and then I started adding like music behind it, and then I'd do little voiceovers, and then I was adding so much into them that I was like, why am I not just making an actual YouTube video at this point?
Yeah, I can definitely see that with your content. What was the biggest challenge going from short form from TikTok to YouTube?
I think just adjusting to, I mean, they're both instant feedback. There's comment sections on both of them, but I think TikTok is much more instant. Like within an hour you'll know where your video is going to go, how big it's going to get, and I mean, sort of within the day, it may be at the views that you were wanting,
expecting. Yeah,
but YouTube's much more of a slow burner. The algorithm is much less, sort of makes much less sense in some cases. Like a video will suddenly just reach it like a year later or something. But yeah, I think weirdly, as soon as I started making videos on YouTube, I was like, oh, this feels like more me.
does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the time it was just reaction videos. I'd sit down, just make dumb jokes throughout watching a program, and then that would be like that. And I was like, this feels more like something that I used to watch or like still watch. And yeah, it was like, it didn't feel too different because I was speaking like to my camera anyway.
The premise is the same effectively.
Yeah.
It's just the content has to be slightly different. What do you enjoy the most? Obviously you stream short form content, long form content. What do you actually get the most enjoyment out of doing?
I think, and this may not show due to the amount of times that I've pressed the upload button this year, probably YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's more of a sort of project.
Yes.
I mean, especially now, I'm trying to level them up a little bit, but I feel like, I mean, I'll come up with an idea, sort of send it off to an editor with like a sort of big long brief, come back, send amendments back. But even after that, I'll still spend like 4 hours editing it myself, just because I don't know. Number one, it would just feel wrong to me personally if I got it back and I was just like, yeah, sure, put it out.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to make it, just polish it slightly. And I even though I say all that and it makes it sound like each video I put out, I'm like, okay, that's exactly how I wanted it to go out. I still would say I've made probably 2-3 videos that I'm like, I'm happy with that. That's
really
good, yeah.
Of all the content you've ever done,
yeah,
you're only 100% happy with 2 or 3 videos.
Maybe including like TikToks, probably like 10 or 11 of them. I'd be like,
is that because you're just a really strong critique of yourself?
I think so. I think it's because I've been watching videos for so long. I see what everyone's doing, and
you think the bar's very high now. Would you say?
But also I like to have sort of a bit of belief in myself that I'm like, I know what I'm able to do. So if something goes out, I'm like, could have done that better, could have tweaked that. That's not the best that it could be.
Yeah, and is that all aspects of it, like the gags, the mix down, the graphics? You critique yourself in all aspects of that, do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of times that I've been like, okay, the edit's kind of saved this, but then I'm not there. But then that's in my head. I'm like, the edit might have saved it, but I could have done better on the day when I was actually filming it.
Really?
The edit could have set like the same amount of edit would have made it an even better video. But I'm like, yeah, I feel like I've always been very critical of myself. Even like, used to play hockey. I'd come back in the car back with my like dad. He'd be like, oh, you played well today. I was like, no, I was shit. I was like so bad. Yeah. But,
okay, Dad.
Yeah. He was all right. Then I'll shut
thanks
up.
for the compliment. Yeah. It's better to be that way around though than you saying I played well and your dad going, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
At least you got it that way around. I think it brings me perfectly onto what I wanted to ask you actually about your team, because I've spoken to influencers that do it all themselves. I've spoken to people that have a whole team of people. So how big is your team currently with the sort of a typical video? Do you have producers, editors? Is it all you?
Yeah, in the sort of actual making of a video, I think up until about 3-4 months ago, it was me and a freelance editor, and I'd send it off to them with like a big brief. They'd come back, I'd send off, I'd be like, oh, can you change this slightly? They'd go, and then I'd come back, and I'd always tweak. I'd say, don't add music, because I want to add that myself. And then I'd say, can you leave these portions for voiceover? Can you leave these different bits? And then that's when I'd put the voiceover in, sort of tweak it around, because I mean, I know people like Chris, they've got people in-house that they can sort of work with. If they're
some brilliant editors, by the way.
Yeah,
Chris.
no, really good, yeah. But I feel like if I've always thought if I can't actually like sort of stand over their shoulder as they're doing it and sort of work together, it makes more sense to get it to a point where I can then take over and sort of finish it up. They do stuff that I wouldn't be able to do.
Do you know what's interesting about what you said there is, obviously, I think for people that might not understand the edit process, obviously I've worked with editors, producers on loads of projects before. What I found fascinating about what you said there is you'll send it to an editor, he'll then send it back, but you'll put the music on, you'll then leave spaces for the voiceover. Why is that not done first for then the editor to mix it down and have it all? Because is that a trust thing?
I think,
I don't want to critique your edit. I'm sure.
No, yeah,
sure
no.
she's great.
I don't really. I think it's more like just a me thing where I'm like, if they put, there'd be a very few times where somebody would put like a song in or something, and I'd be like, that's really cool. I like that song. I don't know. I feel like music. I think actually, continually to sort of praise Chris. I think his videos show how music can sort of affect it, and I don't want it to just be like oh, I've got a Licked membership now.
Yeah.
Let's just click and drag a song in and see if it works.
Yeah.
So some videos, so like for example, I did a video where I went to the Super Bowl. I put quite a few songs in that, but I put the songs in, clipped it down around the song bits, and then sent it to the editor. And they sort of went around, sort of finalised it up. So I guess it depends on the video, but yeah, I've always liked to have that
creative
sort of
control.
yeah.
It's probably why you've got to where you are though, because you know your audience better than anyone, because you started it on your own, doing everything. So obviously you've got that instant feedback, and like music is a big part of a lot of your content. So it's amazing hearing that you have that creative control. Do you think you'll ever get to a point where you do employ more people? Because we'll come on to what you're going on to do soon. But I mean, you're going to be incredibly busy this year. Is it going to get to a point where you will need a production manager, a full-time producer, a full-time editor, do you think?
Yeah, well, because a lot of my videos, as I say, I started in sort of like just doing reaction stuff. That's very easy to, well, it's not very easy, but it's much easier than the bigger scale
to pass on
videos
to
because
someone.
you can. The edit is just sort of one camera, one screen. It's much more straightforward. But I've always wanted. I've had ideas for sort of years now where I've like kind of want to do that, but I can't do that. But that's because I've just been like, right, it's just me, and then I'll send it off to the editor, then I'll make it. I feel like I've now in a position where I'm like, I can still have full control, but I can just delegate different things. So I've got a very good producer now who I've worked on, I think 5 different videos with. They're all filmed. We're editing through them now, and then hopefully they'll come out over the next like sort of 6 months. And then, I mean, on shoots I've got videographers, which I think in current videos that I've used that have actually posted, I think I've used a videographer in 2 or 3.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's it.
I did. I don't know if you've seen them, but I did a video that's it's like a cooking draft. I did it with Chris and Arthur, where it would be all of the ingredients, all of the appliances, everything to make a meal.
Yeah.
But they'd have to go through and pick which one they want, and if whichever one they pick, the other person isn't allowed to use, so they have to sort of substitute something else in.
Yeah.
So I think they did pizzas, but I did that, and I'd set up the camera. I've got 2 big lights that I'd set up in my kitchen. Set up another camera for a different angle, another one. Then I'd have a GoPro. I'd write my little script to have in between and like start it off. And I also did a sort of sit down bit between to sort of like cut to their sort of thoughts in that.
Like come down to me, the cooking, and then like the sort of interview bit.
And I'd need to remember to be like, right, guys, now can we do this bit? And I'll ask you the questions, and then go over here, and then whilst sort of producing it and like directing it and leading it, I'd also then need to just be me on camera making jokes and just sort of having a good time. So that's why I only made like 2 of them, because I was like, that's just so much effort.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and in my head I wasn't like, oh, I could just get someone else to help me.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not big enough yet, I can't do that. But I feel like that's where now I'm like,
Where you're at,
I'm not even I feel like I've just sort of let go of that. I'm like, why do I need to be 1 million, 2 million subs or whatever? Just make the video.
Yeah. What's amazing about that though is if that exact whether that's a sketch or a production, whatever you want to call it, the equivalent of that on TV, say that is Come Dine to Me, which is effectively someone cooking for one scene, someone then interviewing, you'd have 2 or 3 camera operators, you'd have a producer on site, a director, a script writer before, a separate voiceover. You're effectively on that shoot producing, directing, presenting, production managing, doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
Which is mad, isn't it?
It is like crazy to think, and like that's, I don't know why I was, but that's what I mean with these videos. They're bigger than any videos that I've sort of made before, but they don't feel stressful or I don't feel like, oh, I can't just then be myself on camera. I've sort of got everything prepared beforehand to a point where I'm like, I know this video is going to be how I want it to look, and I've got everything in place. So now all I need to do is just get on camera and just have a laugh with
For
it.
yourself, yeah. In terms of the content strategy, where do the ideas come from? Is that all you?
Yeah. I think I think it's just, as I say, from watching videos since I was sort of 10, whatever, I've seen so much YouTube. I'd love to have like a stat that would sort of somehow say how many hours I actually watched.
Quiz you on YouTube over the last 15 years. Yeah.
But I mean, it's been basically all I've consumed for the last sort of probably nearly like 15 years of my life. So I feel like that helps in some sort of way. Definitely. I've always been a bit more creative and that way inclined. So I feel like that helps with like video ideas. But I genuinely enjoy it. That's what I think
that's huge.
Is what helps with it. Is just I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool if I could do that.
Yeah.
But then what if that? And then that's the sort of like chain I used to end up going on.
Have you ever thought about, like, because I look at your content, there's a very comedic element to it. Have you ever thought about doing comedy?
I've been asked.
Have you?
I think maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, someone was like, oh, we're doing sort of different stand-up sets. I don't know if you want to get involved. And I was like,
yeah, a bit nervous.
At that time, my TikToks were here's sort of the things I hate about this, things I hate about this, or it'd be.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, your comedy, there's a huge comedy. Your content, sorry, there's a huge comedy aspect to it.
I feel like there was. I could have easily just stitched the content of sort of 6 or 7 of my TikToks together, and it would be a stand-up set. But I think number one, I just know I'd shit myself on stage. Not physically, but I would hate it. But I think it's much more fun making someone laugh when you're not there going, I'm going to make you laugh now.
It's unexpected. I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
And it feels much more natural to do it that way. And if I did do it, I feel like that something in that realm or world wouldn't be my end goal.
Really?
So I'm like, it would just be a side quest that's not really got any means to it. I'd be like, maybe I'd enjoy it, maybe I wouldn't. If I did enjoy it, would that mean it takes away from YouTube or whatever? So I'm like,
but the way you're talking, you suggest you have had offers to do that, and it is something. The way you're talking would suggest that you're not completely shutting the door for stand-up comedy in the future.
I wouldn't completely shut the door off. I mean, I think since doing the shows for our podcast and stuff, like that's the only ever, because I never did drama at school. I never did stuff in front of a crowd. So I felt like that was part of it that I was like, that'd be horrible. But yeah, I think I don't know, maybe, but I don't think it's anywhere near the top of my priorities.
I'd love to see that. You make a good point though about, obviously there's stand-up comics that are, you Jimmy Carr's, Ricky Gervais, that are, I think, on a different level to anyone. But a lot of what I love my comedy, a lot of what you see, they are sketches that some of stand-up can be sketches that are put together which are not too dissimilar to the type of stuff you're putting out. Yeah. So I think we should do it. I think I should get you out there.
I don't know. I think, I even think about it, I'm like, oh God, I would just, but if it was a good show, or like everything went well, I'd be like, oh yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
But then the moment it's not, I'm like, oh, that's
Everyone
horrible.
has one bad show.
And then also, I think another aspect of it is a lot of stand-up comedians are obviously just that.
Yes.
So if people know about them, it's because they're good at stand-up. They're not really going to have a bad show.
Yeah, I hear.
If people know about me before I do anything, I go in and I'm like, right, this is my first one, let's see how it goes. Suddenly that's on blast for like a stupid amount of people to see. Yeah. And it's like, okay, maybe that's not the best
let's stream it while we're at it. Maybe yeah. I love the way you think about that. You mentioned Chris and Arthur. You live with ChrisMD, I'm right in thinking, and Arthur Hill.
Arthur Hill, yeah.
So how's that dynamic?
That's good. I've lived with Arthur Hill for, this would be my, we've lived for 3 years now with Arthur, 2 with Chris. And we're currently looking for a new place.
As of you three?
As us 3,
right.
I think it's quite a nice dynamic. Chris is sort of like the mother of the house.
Is he? Yeah, I want to tap into this house dynamic.
Yeah.
So Chris is the sensible one, is he? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's the sensible one. He's the one that's got a spreadsheet for everything.
Has he? Go on,
He's
what? What's he got a spreadsheet for?
Oh, I think he's got a hobby spreadsheet.
A hobby spreadsheet?
I wasn't even aware that was a thing that people
I didn't know that was a thing.
And
What's on his hobby spreadsheet?
Well,
then?
it's just all. I think it's all of his hobbies.
Yeah,
and then
makes sense.
And then he sort of can see what he hasn't done in a while, and he's like, "Oh, I could do that again."
Like paddle.
Yeah, that's one. He's got a little spreadsheet for our houses at the moment, so he's got pros and cons in it.
Pros and cons. Like
yeah.
what?
Sort of nice area, cons.
Where you're looking to buy.
Yeah.
Right, nice area, only 2 bathrooms or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he's got that when we go through and tick it, but he's getting really angry at Arthur because Arthur's not ticking. So yeah, that's him. He's got 2 soup makers.
2 soup makers?
Yeah.
Why has he got 2 of them?
Number one, I wasn't even aware a soup maker was a thing.
No.
And then also wouldn't be. I'm still unaware why he needs 2 of them. Because currently our freezer is just soup.
Is
and
it?
It is pretty much all year round. Because once we're out of soup, he makes new soup.
This is what he likes.
Yeah, that's what he goes through. So that's Chris.
There's so much I want to unpack with Chris. I'm not done with Chris yet, okay?
yeah.
So what other spreadsheets does he have? So he's got spreadsheets for bills, presumably? Who pays what?
Yeah, I think if he's ever got anything that he wants to do, we're planning a holiday, we're doing anything, there's a spreadsheet just gets involved.
Pros and cons.
Yeah, I think he may have some sort of shares in Excel or something, but yeah.
And would you say he's the cleanest of you?
Yeah, Chris will be the cleanest.
Most sensible.
Yeah.
Who's the messiest then?
It'd be in our rooms, I'm the messiest.
Okay.
In public spaces, it'd probably be a tie between me and Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone other than Chris then?
Yeah.
Who's the best cook?
Best cook, that would be Chris. He makes us roasts and stuff every now and then.
Can he do a full roast dinner?
Yeah, just does a little full
fair
roast
play to
dinner.
him.
He bakes
All the
a lot.
trimmings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the trimmings. He bakes a lot, makes a nice crumble.
Does he? So you sit around on a Sunday, you 3, and he'll do a full roast. He'll say, I've got this, lads. Get the spreadsheet done.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll make you a roast dinner, apple crumble, sort the whole thing out.
Yeah, every now and then he'll just message and just be like, boys, I'm making a pasta bake. Fancy some? I'm like, yeah, I do. Sure, of course I do.
What do you like as a cook?
Oh, I'm not great.
What's your signature dish?
I wouldn't. The thing is, I'm not good with cooking. There's never been like I think at uni I'd make pasta, put a meat in it, and add a sauce, or like rice, put some mixed veg in it, add a meat, maybe some sauce, and it wouldn't be like I can name that. It would just be. I could tell you the ingredients for it.
Yeah, stir fry's great for that, isn't it? Would you do a good? I'll do a good stir fry.
Yeah,
it's just every day, just shove a different type of meat with a different type of noodles and a different sauce.
Yeah,
ultimately, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a lot. No, I'm not great, but I don't really cook a lot at the moment, which is I want to cook more, but then I'm like, why do I want to cook more? Just because people judge me for not cooking? That's an awful reason to want to cook more. I don't enjoy it a lot, and it can take ages. And if I had a busy day, maybe I just want to order something.
Yeah, you know? I hear that. What's Arthur like then? So we've covered Chris.
Yeah, Arthur, he's forgetful.
Okay. In what sense?
In the he forgets things. He like.
It's a great answer to a rubbish question.
Yeah, he has like
must improve Smithy. Yeah.
Yeah, he has like a carabiner that he's got in his keys.
Okay.
And I know it's like a fashionable thing now to have your keys on a little carabiner on you.
Yeah.
But I think he was doing it, either he's a trendsetter or he was doing it for no reason, because for a reason. It wasn't for fashion, it was because he lost his keys so much. He actually bought off Amazon 100 key rings.
100 key rings?
Yeah, and I think it was in order to make sure that he doesn't lose it. I don't know how it worked, but I remember that was an order he made.
Surely that's going to make you lose your keys even more if you've got so many key rings.
Mate, I think
you could lose the keys that are attached to said key ring.
I think it could have just been backups. Just sort of.
Right.
Just all I need to do now is add a key to it. That's how I get my new ones
not
back.
Lose your keys.
Yeah, he had the security key for a period of like 3 months, and there's a lot of emails he was getting for that, I think. And yeah, he's things slip his mind, bless him.
Really?
But he's a fantastic singer.
Is he?
I don't know if that
levels it out.
Cancels it out. It doesn't feel like it cancels it out, but it's
so you might be locked out of the house, but he'll sing you a rendition of Ed Sheeran at the time to make you feel better.
But yeah, no, he's a really good singer.
Is he? Yeah.
If you haven't listened to his music, he's good stuff. He's just I think he's just announced his Australia tour that he's doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair play. So very talented individuals then. Do you ever sit down and have creative discussions? Because obviously Like with you and Chris, you could lean on him for YouTube, he could lean on you. Do you ever have that? Like brainstorm ideas you have for the channel? Is it very much...
I think the
That
only
doesn't
real
happen.
sort of creative discussion we have is I'm like, oh, I've had a video idea. And they're like, oh, have you? And then I'll say it and I'll never make the video. And they'll just be like, oh, cool. Me and Chris every now and then like brainstorm videos, but I think it's never sort of initiated by him.
Right.
He'll just say a video idea he's got, and I'll be like, oh, you could then do this and then this,
Okay.
and then I think I probably just hound them with stuff. Is
yeah.
how it goes. But his one player from every position competes for 10 grand.
Yeah.
I came up with that idea.
Did you?
Yeah.
So is that a regular thing? You often come up with ChrisMD Strand ideas, or is that a one-off?
I think that might have been one. He's had a few that he's written down. He's like, do you know what? That's actually quite good. Annoyingly. So yeah, we've sort of just riffed every now and then for video ideas.
Good way of describing it.
Yeah, but just for his channel.
Yeah. There could be something back here, mate.
Yeah. No, there was a video I did that a video idea I came up with for him that I thought would be good, because I was thinking about it for myself and I was like, this just doesn't fit my channel. So I was like, why don't you do one amazing? Because this was when he was doing one amazing goal with every body part.
Yeah, I remember that.
With every technique. I was like, why don't you do one amazing goal in every sport? And I was like, because then I feel like that opens you up to a whole different audience. And I think he went and filmed with Batch and Arthur doing archery, and then realised quite how difficult it is to get like an amazing shot in a sport that you've never played.
Yeah,
So
really
it's
good
like,
point.
so he scrapped that and then gave the footage to Arthur, and then I think Arthur never even uploaded it. So yeah,
Fair point. Do you ever think you'll start a group? Because obviously you're tight with Batch, with Arthur, with Chris.
it's not.
Would you ever start a YouTube group, do you think?
Yeah, it's not completely out of the realms of possibility, but I think at least right now, I kind of want to be focusing on making sure my stuff is where I want it to be, because I've just sort of started that. I don't want to all the sort of quote unquote better videos that I've made that are coming up. I don't want them to be the only ones and then be like, right, screw that. Now let's
Do the
go
group,
to Above Boys Mark II.
Yeah, but it's funny. Yeah, you have thought about it though. Clearly, has been something.
A little bit, but I think it's mostly because we post anything that's us four. Sorry, Chris, he's not including the 4, maybe the 4.5. We like people just comment like, "You guys should make a group. You guys should make a group." So it's kind of natural to have those conversations. But nothing's come of it. And hey, maybe it never will.
Watch this space. Who knows? What you mentioned, Bob Boys there. What are your thoughts on them as a group and how big they can become?
Yeah, no, it's nice.
It's quite exciting,
to have
isn't it?
Something fresh in the UK space because it's been. I mean, I think there's not been a lot new. I think the newest additions were like Danny when he shut up, like, and that's like fairly recently. AB's new on the scene.
Ginge had a massive
Ginge
rise,
was big. Yeah, and I think like there's not a lot outside of that that's actually, and that's crazy to. I mean, that's just in the whole sort of like core UK space. I'm sure there's loads of people like making incredible videos that I've not seen, but it seemed like that's why I think it's like it seems in the US there's a new person every 5 seconds. And you're like, and everyone's like, you haven't heard of this guy? I'm like, no, what? That doesn't seem to happen in the UK, so it's nice that there's a new thing that people can sort of look at, and it's a new group. It's a little bit of a different dynamic to the other ones.
Yeah. How big do you think they can become?
They can become really big. I think it just depends on. I think it's this. People are often like, oh, but the Sidemen are so big because of this or that, and it's like that's obviously the one that you're going to end up looking at.
Yeah.
In terms of this is how you do a group model. This is what a group can be, but I don't think people need to obviously take inspiration, but I think don't compare it to that, because their rise was from a place of no one really knew who they were. Yeah. They just sort of came together and it became like a natural thing. But yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing to a lot of people are like, oh, Mr. Beast ruined YouTube. And my take on that is like, yes, he became huge off of what he did, and people started copying his style. So that's why people are like, oh, but everybody's made their videos like Mr. Beast. Well, people, but before that, PewDiePie was huge.
Yeah.
Everyone started hopping on the sort of gameplay and sort of reaction stuff, and that wasn't ruining YouTube. So I think it's just that's how he made his rise.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the only way that someone can do it, but it's just there's not someone who's catching up to him yet.
Yeah.
If there were someone to come out of the woodwork and blast straight past him with a different, like, quote unquote meta, suddenly they'd be ruining YouTube.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. And also, you mentioned too, I mean, stratospherically big influencers there, PewDiePie and Mr. Beast. Do you think when you get to that level, people are always going to be talking about you in all aspects and critiquing you?
Yeah,
really?
exactly.
I mean, he's huge, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think unless you've seen them from like the ground up, you're not going to realize the effort or what they're actually about if you just see them and suddenly you just like this will be why like the bigger influencers and stuff get them like more hate, is because suddenly if you're unaware of them and you suddenly see them, you're like, who's this guy that's got 20 million subs? Like,
he's hired a private jet for a video. I can't do that.
You're going to turn your nose up because you didn't know them before. But yeah.
You mentioned some of the YouTubers there. How big have the likes of KSI, the Sidemen? Obviously, you've collabed with some massive influencers. How big have the Sidemen been in your journey and your growth, would you say?
I think it's definitely been a large helping hand. I think I wouldn't look at it and be, I don't even know how. Yes, they've helped a lot. I think like. It's just, I think the reason they've helped so much is because they make so many videos.
Yeah.
So whereas Chris might invite me in a lot of his videos, there's 3 weeks between each one of those, and that sort of like spaces them out a little bit. But also, I mean, it's just such a massive machine over at the Sidemen where it's like, post a video, it'll get 7 mil plus. We'll forget about it, move on.
Crazy.
And it's like, if you're getting pushed into those, like even like, I mean, at one point I think I was in like 4 or 5 in a row. If I get pushed in front of 8 mil plus people for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, that's never not going to help. And then obviously Inside happened, charity match, like I do like owe a lot of sort of thanks and everything.
But they wouldn't use you if they didn't rate you as well. So you've got to look at it in 2 ways, I suppose.
So that's why that's like another aspect of it, where it's like I thank them, but then I'm also like, it's like a compliment to be invited back, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I hear that.
So that's I feel like where at the start where I was like, how do I even word this? But I guess I found my way.
For those that have never, it's a really good way of putting it. That for those that have never sort of worked with or seen the Sidemen, obviously I've worked on the KSI Logan Paul fight. I've been at the Sidemen charity matches. I've seen firsthand just how big they are. For those that may not have been, give us an insight into how big, how famous the Sidemen are.
Well, yesterday we were in the Isle of Wight. It was just 3 Sidemen there, and people were getting taxis across the Isle of Wight to just stand near us making a video. It was like insane. And like, it's to a point where like, it's so cool to see people that recognize what you do, and like 99% of the time always going to take a photo, always be very gracious. And but in those scenarios, it's physically just like, they are, that's not the first time it's happened. They go anywhere. It's like not safe to stop and get photos because more people come. It blocks up a road or something. I don't know. I can't remember where it was. It might have been Albania where they went, and I think it was Vic and Ethan. It was just Vic and Ethan. Not just Vic and Ethan. It was the worst ones. It was Vic and Ethan.
We know what you mean.
And they were getting like 3-4 scooters of people just chasing their van as they go
just to get a photo, like, a pic or whatever.
Just get near them and just film them from. It's so mental, but that's another reason why you can't compare if you're making a group, or even if you're not making a group. You can't compare yourself to them because they've been in it for so long, making 51 videos a year and a compilation at the end. Like, it's,
and everything else they're doing as well, the brand stuff, the boxing, all that. It's just it's incredible. You mentioned your pod there. I want to start talking about how you've sort of transitioned to the mainstream. So you're taking your pod on the road now. You did Reading Festival.
We did, yeah.
So talk to me a bit about that. Were you nervous for that?
Well, we did. Let's go to the very start of our live shows. We did one to like 200-300 people, I think, in Islington at the very start. It was like a little tester.
Is that nice to start off with that number?
Yeah,
to gauge the audience.
This was before we'd ever done like a live show. This was 2 years ago, maybe, and I was like so nervous because I was, as I said, that I'd never done anything.
So out of your comfort zone
before.
a bit.
Yeah, it was really out of my comfort zone, and it was because up until this point, it was just in front of a camera. That's that. Move on with my day. The only time there'd been a lot of people would just be if, for some reason, a lot of people recognised me, which never happened. But yeah, so I'd do that, and then it would be. We then did a tour after that, and that was 9 different venues, meant to like Belfast, Dublin, and stuff. That was so cool.
And what sort of numbers are you talking about?
I think it was. Belfast or something was like 300, and then it was like Dublin was like 500.
Wow.
No, Dublin might have been 400. Manchester was 500. I think we had 2 ones at the Shepherd's Bush Empire in London, and they were both 1,000.
Iconic venue.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see all the sort of names of different people on the walls that had been there, and it's just like wild to think that anybody would even care enough to
Do you think
buy
that
a ticket. Yeah, because it's like, why? Like we're just someone that just makes a dumb video, puts it on the internet. Like, why do you care enough to want to actually come and see us? But it's very cool that they did. And then summer after that was we got invited to Reading and Leeds.
Wicked.
And our first show in Leeds was when, I don't know if you saw the stuff about stages blowing away and stuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So our stage fucked off, which isn't a good omen.
Hopefully everyone's all right. Yeah, mainly, yeah.
We really don't want you to perform here.
Yeah.
The stage isn't there. There's nothing we can do. But there was something they could do, apparently. And they ended up putting us on the Chevron stage, which is the sort of sister stage to the main stage, where it's just the like DJs and stuff. And we were on, I think, 12 p.m. So like when people were just sort of waking up really at a festival.
The night before,
Yeah. But I think they said we got about 5,000 people there.
Wow.
Which was insane because it was such a huge stage. Just to see that many people in front of you, they're just not filling the area.
Yeah, because
it's obviously a huge stage, but it's like, it was insane. And I think after that was, I mean, halfway through the tour, it was like, oh, I'm on stage. Like the nerves beforehand, you kind of, it becomes more normal and you sort of
the
like
more you
forget
do,
about
I
it.
totally agree with that. Whenever I've done stuff in my presenting career, the first time you do anything outside the norm, you get those sort of butterflies. But it's repetition, isn't it? As soon as you do something more than once, the nerves subside, and then I feel like you become more confident as well. Yeah,
and then even if something crops up in those shows, like we'll go into the crowd, we'll ask different people something. Those are bits that are just going to be completely different to the last, but because you're much more comfortable throughout the show, it's not like oh god, this bit's coming up. It's just cool. Well, this is just like a conversation just with 500 people. But
that's quality.
So there was a bit of a break between those, and we did a pop-up show in Brighton, and that was our first one for like a year, maybe like year and a half, and then did Edinburgh Fringe and then Reading. So like each
fair
time
play.
it's
Some iconic venues there that you've done.
No, it's really cool, and that's why it's another thing that's like, why are we able to do this? It's so like insane.
How big can you take that then? Do you think? How big can that? Can you where can you take that? Could you do a Glastonbury set? Because there's multiple stages at Glastonbury.
Yeah. I think it's just whoever will take us. No, I don't really know.
Do you strategize that then?
We sit down, we chat, and we sort of think about what could be the next thing and what we actually want to do, and like most importantly, actually like structure like a show, because we don't want it to. Because people I mean, even in the tour, some people turned up to 3 of the different shows.
Did you have to make them different each
So,
night?
but like in the tour, we there were different aspects of it.
Yeah.
But it was mostly the same show.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so from the tour, we don't want to do that show again because we would have visited them in their town. The next one's going to be like a one-off thing. They may travel.
okay.
We don't want it
Yeah.
to just be the same thing. So you need to sort of like slightly tweak it. So I think that's where most of the strategizing comes is what segment can we put in that's like, what do we keep because it worked? What do we change?
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's just...
It's amazing. That's amazing when you're taking it. And I think it's one of many aspects in which we've seen you in the mainstream. I've got to talk about the Sidemen charity game as well.
Yeah.
You had a pretty iconic moment in that. For those, I mean, I'm saying for those that haven't watched it, I watched your epic goal back this morning.
Oh, yeah.
For those that are
As I do
unaware
most
of the story, if
mornings.
you've lived under a rock, in your own words, describe that moment and the score. Because it was the 90th minute, right?
It was, I believe, the 88th.
88th
There was
minute?
not a lot of time for anybody to
Score at
equalise
8
afterwards.
all, right?
Yeah, so I popped it. I popped it
Miles out.
right in the middle of the goal. It was great. No, so I think what's quite funny is there's a clip I was on Backside, their podcast. Like a few weeks before the game.
Yeah.
And I think Reeve was like, have you got a celebration planned?
Yeah, and I've seen Chris afterwards dig you out for this as well.
And I was like, well, I literally didn't. I was like, I'm literally not going to score.
Yeah.
So, but if I do, I probably won't be able to believe it. So I'll just sort of be like, what the hell? And then it just cuts to me actually doing that. But I did that because I wasn't aware that Ginge got a touch on it, and then I wasn't aware that my touch was before the line. This is how far out I was.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just Toby's goal. So I just ran over and I was just like, hey, that's yours,
Yeah.
Toby. I was like,
I can confirm I've watched it back. It is your goal.
yeah.
It's definitely your goal.
No, it is. And it's a
big
screamer.
moment. But all jokes aside, we're having a laugh here because it was a tap-in, but it makes it 9-8 in the 88th minute, and you're playing at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
A sold-out Wembley.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it
do you have to
was-
pinch yourself that you've scored in front of
It was wild. Because,
a sold-out Wembley?
yeah, because I think it might have been Manny was in midfield. And
Good player, Manny.
Really good player.
Really good player.
So it was an insane decision from Freezy to bring him off and bring me on. So I'd been playing defence the whole time through, the whole game. Bearing in mind, I think Wembley was my 3rd ever 11-a-side game.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you don't play football much, do you?
No.
Do you support a team at all?
No, because none of my family do.
Right.
And get the small violin out. I grew up on Freeview TV,
Right, okay.
so couldn't actually watch any of it. Curse Sky Sports.
Which is great. Obviously, there's lovely people work at Sky. We've got nothing but good things to say. Wow. So there's not many people that can say their 3rd game is scoring at Wembley. Then
Yeah.
that's pretty special. Where do you think the Sidemen take that next? How do they top Wembley Stadium?
I think this is what YouTubers become. It's always like, how do we top it? How do we? You can't really top Wembley. So I think there was a lot of shouts of like, maybe that's the last one. But
Do you think it is?
I
have you heard?
don't think it can be because
Because the demand is still there,
yeah,
right?
the demand's still there. The ability to raise an unbelievable amount of money
Yeah,
for
great
charity
point,
is
great
still
point.
there. Each year there'll be different creators that come through that can make their own little clip or bring a different audience to it. Maybe you take it. You can't really take it abroad because that sort of takes away from the core audience that would watch it. But is it like bad to do Wembley again? Like,
yeah,
no,
fair point.
It's
It would sell out again, wouldn't it? Easily sell out again.
100% it would. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing as like how each year nobody goes like, oh, how is Soccer Aid going to improve on last year?
Yeah, great point.
It's just different ground.
It's still watchable every
different,
year.
it's still-
And most importantly, makes an amazing amount of money for charity, which is a great point, what you made.
And-
Is it interesting you getting the call up and then some of your friends do, some of your friends don't? I imagine there's so many, obviously your mates with YouTubers that you're on the pitch with. Some do get invited, some don't. Obviously, it's the creme de la creme of YouTube.
Yeah.
How's that when you ring some of your mates?
well-
did you get the call up? No, did you? I did actually.
Yeah, because there's so much umming and ahhing going on. Everybody's like, thankfully I was sort of taken out of the
Right.
sort of questioning, like I was first to be announced on their Christmas podcast,
Brilliant.
which was insane. So I was just sort of watching everybody and ah as I was just sat there like, I'm playing, but maybe you are, Theo, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, nobody really knows, and they're really good with biting their tongue and not saying anything. But yeah, I think there was a few people that they wanted in that, because I'm quite good friends with Stephen, and he's obviously on commentary.
Stephen tries.
Yeah. And
Genius, right?
Very good. Yeah. He's but obviously he needs to prepare beforehand, because he's got 22 people on the pitch. I don't know how many subs there are. He's got to be making jokes for like 35 people maybe. So he needs to get some preparation in beforehand. So they gave him like a preliminary list, I think.
Right.
And we were recording a video, and I'd already been announced. So I was like, hey, Stephen, I'm not revealing anything here. Just tell me.
Yeah.
So I think there are a few names that were still. I think it goes very down to sort of last minute, and it's if you want to get the Americans in, there's also like are they going to be free? Are they able to come around on this?
Yeah.
I mean, the bigger YouTubers are obviously also going to be the busier ones. So it's and especially with Wembley, I think you just get given like 3 dates in a year that they're like, look, we got these.
Yeah,
we can't move them around.
Incredibly
Take
busy.
your pick. Yeah.
Wow. Love hearing that. Love hearing that. And it's not the end of your footballing ability. You saw your baller league.
I was
You
in
had a bit
baller
in your
league,
locker, didn't you? You're playing against the pro team.
I don't
what was
know,
that experience like?
That was insane because
There's a little Cruyff Tony in the corner. I've seen it. Shot wasn't as good as the turn, but we'll digress from that.
But do you know what that was? I didn't realise. I was a couple weeks beforehand was the Martin Tyler shoot, and that was when I'm pretty sure I sprained my ankle or something.
Oh wow!
So, I mean, I'm not blaming the shot on that because that would have happened anyway, even if I was healed.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Actually, I am blaming my shot on that. Otherwise, it would have gone top bins. Yeah. But yeah, no, playing against sort of.
Musa
I mean,
Dembele and John
but this is just. I don't know why I've got this little thing in my head where I'm like, oh, I like a challenge. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll get it. So everyone was like, well, I'm not marking Musa Dembele. And I was like,
he looks
okay, then I'll do it.
Didn't he?
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And he's just unbelievable. I mean, obviously they're going to be like a level above.
Yeah.
But it's just insane how effortless it feels, and like
I agree. Yeah.
not even in just how they are on the ball, just the strength of him.
Yeah. Who is the best non-football player? So as in celebrity influencer.
Yeah.
You played with in either. So if you're talking Sidemen, Baller League, is there a standout best football YouTuber?
Who's the best? I think Manny is really good.
I think it's a good shout, man.
I think there's some people that are good in a football shoot, and then there's some people that are good in an actual game of football. I think Chris is obviously good. Simon's good in an 11-a-side game. Theo may be Theo with.
Maybe Theo takes it over Manny.
It might be. It's just annoying. It's annoying that I'm saying Theo because I know that'll give him so much validation.
Give it to Theo, yeah. Okay, fair play. Theo takes. How big do you think Baller can become? What's your honest thoughts on it as a concept?
I think it's really cool. I think it's obviously in its first year here. I think it very much just depends on how much control / how much freedom the creators get.
Okay.
Because you see how much, how many viewers Simon and sort of Ginger are bringing in with their live streams of it and the different clips that come from it. I think that is very beneficial. It's cool that it's. I think initially everybody was thinking, oh, I thought they were playing. They're just managers. But that is a nice aspect that's different from other things. I think it's just very dependent on who the managers are, who gets involved, switching things up a little bit. Maybe if something didn't work last time, just putting a little spin on it because as much as it is eyes on some really good footballers, it's also no one's going to watch it if there's not content being made there, which is why I think the little game changers and stuff make it so good.
I agree. The game changers are great. Yeah.
So I think that's just it's just try something different each time. I guess just add a little. I know just little segments in whatever little
works. Segments. I like it. You'll create something for them. Yeah. And we're talking about you in the mainstream. We've covered the Sidemen charity match, covered Baller League. You on Inside as well.
I was.
How was that? By the way? What was your honest thoughts on Inside?
It was genuinely one of the most physically and emotionally draining things I've ever done.
What was the hardest bit?
I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, was it difficult, like not having your phone and not knowing what's going on?" That was weirdly like refreshing,
therapeutic.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to not have that. There was a weird moment actually where the side of the studio, because it was in a big studio in wherever it was, and the studio doors opened, like these big sliding ones. I think it was to let something in or just. I don't know. And we saw the sky for the first time.
Wow.
And I think it was like day 6. And we were all stood on a bed so we could see over the thing to see it, like meerkats just up, like looking at it. It was the weirdest.
So that's what we don't see. Yeah, the little things we don't see.
But I think the most difficult thing was probably not having someone there with me the whole time that I just knew I could trust,
right?
Or I was or knew me, because it's very much a game. It's very much you can interact with people, you can get along with them, but you never really know who they're voting for, what they're saying behind closed doors.
So it is a game. So there's huge trust issues.
Yeah, I think, but it's not just that. It's like you're also very much aware who's voted for you, and you're then just like. Well, I'm not gone, but now we're just kind of living together.
Someone you trusted the least? Obviously, in a game setting.
I don't know if there was anyone I trusted. I don't know. The thing is, anybody that voted for me was very honest with it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a sort of trust thing necessarily. I think in terms of trust, probably PK.
Because humble. Yeah.
Because to this day, I don't know what he's telling me is the truth or not. But. I knew there was like a level in there where that's why, like, in the final thing I was like, I believe what you're saying is true. Take the safe box.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because I was like, I know he knows how to make content, and I think the lack of trust 99% of the time is around things that are just stupid. It's still a lot of money on a chocolate amount of money. It's on a chocolate bar or something. It's never like stupid amounts of money, and I felt like we got along, and I sort of got him. Yeah. But I still never really understood.
It's a great way to describe it. Yeah. And of course, now, big news, you are going in Strictly Come Dancing. How did that come about, and how do you feel about it?
I think they sort of got in contact like April, May, maybe. Yeah. You do like a little interview with them, and then after the interview,
like a casting.
So not necessarily a casting. We just went for like a sort of drink with 2 of the production members. Yeah. So had like an hour chat, sort of try and understand who I am. We've told you're a YouTuber, but I've never seen you. And just sort of just get because it's very much they want certain. I think they're just trying to suss you out and just sort of be like, would you be good for it? And then afterwards, there's like an hour dance sort of introduction sort of thing that you do.
And do you have to nail that, do you think, to be included in the show?
Evidently not. No, I think
really good answer.
Yeah, I think there are like they just want to see where you're sort of at. Yeah. So that they don't just cast a full cast of just shitters. Yeah. But also so they don't. There's a good balance. So there's a nice balance. And it was quite funny. I was saying that on my podcast, and the Sun reported that I leaked my partner, which I didn't. Wow. Because we don't actually know our partner.
You don't know your partner now as things stand?
But I know that. What I do know is who I danced with on that day, which was Lauren. But again, that's not a leak. That's just they need someone there to dance with you. Otherwise, it's just a broom or something.
Which I'd love to see as well. So what's happened so far then? Because you're a few weeks away at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Have you had dance rehearsals? Like, how stringent is the rehearsal and the before show one is what I'm getting at.
So currently it's just sort of like preparation stuff. I did a couple Fridays ago, I think it was, there was a big sort of, you meet all the celebs, all the pros.
Yeah.
You get like a brief sort of talk through from all the sort of production, different sides of production, because it's obviously such a big show and there's so many different aspects to it, where it's not just the camera stuff like the lighting and the sort of scripting and everything. It's also the choreography side of things. There's the whole like it's such a sort of big team of people. But yeah, sort of got to meet all the celebs. Then all the pros came in. You just sort of had time to just mingle with them. Whilst the female celebs were dancing with the male pros upstairs, we went downstairs, just got to chat, just see how we got along. And I think that's just a sort of the start of like a chemistry test, just to see who works together.
As a partnership, you mean? Dancer and celeb?
Yeah,
oh, right, okay.
It's obviously not just who's like the right height or who dances well. It's you've got potentially up until Christmas with this person.
Yeah.
You need to get along, otherwise it's going to be a very miserable time.
Yeah. How much time do you spend with when you know who your partner is?
Yeah.
Like, what are you
I think
asked to do in terms of because we all see the shows on the weekend.
Yeah.
But what's the midweek? How many days do you have to do?
I think they aim to do Monday to Thursday.
Wow.
Training. Friday, like dress rehearsals, I think is Friday.
So basically, you put your life on pause for Strictly, which is obviously amazing because of the profile, but that'll be interesting for you with your concept.
There's sort of wiggle room with, like, you can sort of let them know ahead of time, be like, I can't really do this day, but then you're then taking that day of training out.
Okay, so it could have an adverse effect on how you perform.
Yeah, so it's very much just like you can chop and change where it makes sense, but you need to be careful with it, because otherwise you're going to end up being on stage and not having to have a clue what you're doing.
And how do you feel? Are you nervous about this, be honest?
Not to quote one of my fellow contestants, I don't normally get nervous. But no, I don't actually normally really get very nervous.
Is that Tom Skinner you're doing there?
Yeah.
I thought that,
But I feel like up until a point, I'm not nervous, and that point being just before I'm about to go on stage. But I feel like that's probably a nice way to
it is.
Sort of have it. And of course, maybe the night before a little bit. I don't know about that.
How good are you at dancing? Go on, give us an exclusive.
Not great.
Really?
I'm okay.
Genuinely?
I'm not like... I feel like I can understand rhythm. I just can't prove it. I feel like I'm all right. I don't think I've never danced before in my life. And in a club, I'm never whipping out anything insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's just sort of a two-step.
So you don't back yourself to win it at this stage?
At this stage, no. But
I love the honesty.
I like the challenge of it. And when we were sort of dancing with the pros, it was just like really fun. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because it's just like it's
enjoyable.
It's very much like when we were there. It felt like it was everybody's first day at school, and you're all aware that you're about to go on this sort of maybe 3-4 month experience together, where all of you are in the same boat. You don't know how to dance, and it's just like a cool learning curve, and just like a nice
Amazing
experience. Yeah.
How competitive is it? I know you said it's nice, but I mean, it is a competition. Obviously, the longer you're in it, speaking honestly, the better it is for your profile. So do you get a sense that it's going to be really competitive once you're in it?
Oh, yeah, I think, but it's not even just from the celeb point of view where it's going to be competitive, because I feel like no matter how sort of much you want to sort of be nonchalant about it and say like, oh, I'm not really going to get into it. Like, you spend 4 or 5 days a week dancing leading up to this thing, and then you get a certain amount of weeks in. You're never going to turn around and just sort of be like, oh, well, that was that. You're going to get into it. And I think maybe perhaps even more so from the pros standpoint, because
great point, that's their profession.
They come from obviously a dancing background where they've never known anything but winning. That's why they come from all around the world, because they are the best people at dancing from like across the globe. Like, they've got a finite amount of time where they're able to dance, and they're putting it into this show. So I can
So you better not let
imagine.
them down.
Yeah, exactly. So I can imagine, like, you get to the latter stages and
It ramps
they'll
up a
get
bit.
like really into it. But also, I wasn't even aware that each year a certain amount of pros get benched
Oh, do they?
because they've got, I don't know how many pros it is, but they don't match up equally to the number of celebs. So even early on,
Even that process is...
it's very much like everybody's getting to know each other, like getting on well. But I imagine it didn't feel like that. Everyone was lovely, but I imagine from their point of view, they're like, damn, I kind of really need to make sure I get one of these.
Wow.
Because otherwise I'm not in it for a year.
That's fascinating, that. Is there anything else that we wouldn't know that you've been privy to? Any exclusives you can give us?
I don't know if there's anything outside of that. Outside of all the thing I told you about earlier, the little sort of like speed dating circle.
Yeah, tell us
that's
about
fun. So effectively, all of the celebs are in a circle facing outwards. All of the pros are in a circle on the outside of them facing inwards. And you do the sort of basic steps to a waltz and then a salsa. But there's music playing. You sort of do it with whoever it is in front of you. Just sort of, it sounds like it's going to be really awkward and cringe, but
It does.
It's weirdly just like not.
Yeah.
Because they immediately just sort of like, hi, how you getting on? It's just, but in a certain way that it's like, don't worry, this is normal for us. And immediately you're like, okay. And you sort of do the dance.
Turns dancing with each
and then someone on the mic just goes, change.
Wow.
And they'll just sort of step back, slide off to the left.
Yeah.
Other person comes round.
It sounds like the production's on point, though.
Oh,
they know
yeah.
what they're doing for that.
Yeah, and it's quite, I mean, it's quite a cool like icebreaker.
Yeah.
And then you just sort of do little 5 minutes with a few of them, and then we started learning the launch show routine.
Yeah, of course, when you all dance together, aren't they?
Yeah. So we were just doing it in sort of 10-minute intervals with different pros.
Yeah.
So that they can just see how you, but it's all just like, number one, obviously seeing how you dance, but probably more importantly, there's like so many people just looking in just to be like, who works? And if they work with them, they can't be with them.
Yeah.
So it must be such
there's
like
a
a
lot.
difficult sort of process.
Mate, I cannot wait to watch you on that. I wish you all the best for it. Just finally, I just want to ask about, you've recently found love.
I have.
Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say, yeah.
How's that?
So cool.
Yeah.
No,
You said that in a really nice way, you know.
Yeah, no, it is. It's nice. What's nice about it is that I can now speak about it freely.
Why couldn't you?
Because I've always been a very like private person. I feel like, well, not very. I feel like there's been certain aspects of my life where I'm like, I want that to be private.
Family stuff, you mean?
Yeah, just like stuff with my family. If I'm dating anyone, but yeah, since I asked her to be my girlfriend, and then obviously
do it?
Strictly, I went to. So our first. It's not like a really romantic place, but our first date was at NQ64. I don't know if you know it. It's like an arcade bar. You can go. You buy tokens and you can play like old arcade games.
Okay, yeah. It's romantic. Don't talk it down.
No.
It sounds romantic. Go on, carry on.
That was our first date. So then I took her back there, and she was like, "Oh, this is really cute. This is giving like so many old memories."
Right, nostalgia.
And I was like, "Oh, what is it? No way, I had no idea." And then I just asked her, sat her down.
Mate, amazing. And of course, she's in the public eye as well.
She like somewhat so, yeah. But yeah, like she's somewhat in the public eye. But I've tried to make it like very apparent. Like, yes, she's now my girlfriend, but she's not my girlfriend. She's like her own person,
right?
You know, like doing her own thing.
What is the challenge from your perspective of what I suppose the pros and cons of being in the public eye, having a relationship?
Yeah,
are there pros and cons to that?
Yeah, I think because this is the thing. I think leading up to Strictly, we were very well aware of the whole sort of Strictly curse stuff and all that sort of thing, and how on it the press are. And if we didn't say anything, then it's like someone will eventually find out, and it just takes the control out of our hands.
Right.
And it's so much nicer to just have full control over it and just be like, this is who she is.
Yeah.
Do your digging all you like, but she's her own person. Respect her privacy, and that's that.
like that.
I feel like people have been like very nice about it. And it's sort of, I think we're both very happy with it because we feel like we can still just be ourselves and sort of get along the same way we did, but don't have to worry about, oh, what if people see us here, or oh, I can't really invite you there because like the Brighton show, I was like, I'd love for you to have been there, but as soon as you turn up there and it's just me, Max, his assistant, and some random girl, everyone's like, well, who's that then?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that sort of pressure taken off, I guess.
Yeah. So it must be nice now that it's out in the open for you.
Yeah, no, it is. And I was always worried. I always said, I don't want my relationship to be in the public eye, but I feel like there's a difference between people knowing that you're in a relationship and then being private behind closed doors and sort of posting videos about them and sort of being like doing the girlfriend tag or whatever. So I felt like that's what we're not going to do. But I feel like it's a nice place we got it.
Love that. It's a really nice, and schedule's challenging as well because obviously she works as a model, right? You're influencer, you have to go on Strictly. So is that a challenge?
Well, luckily because she can work somewhat freelance, she's got days that she's free. That it's not like a sort of 9 to 5. I won't be able to see her. It's we can work around it like quite nicely. So I think that works really well as well.
And what happens when you end up saying to Chris, it gets to a point you want to move in with her? How will ChrisMD react to that?
He'll be devastated. Maybe we'll just keep him in as like a house pet.
Would you? I love that.
Maybe a little sort of kennel we can pop him in.
Love that. I want to end by just some quick fire ones. Proudest moment in your career so far? What would you say?
I think Wembley, scoring at Wembley.
Yeah, great
that's
answer.
That's insane to even say out loud.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a mate. I played in a game at Wembley. This is a true story. On a pitch day, it was 0-0. I scored the only goal, and the linesman put his flag up, and I was like, "Mate,
no.
it was the tightest decision." I was like, "Just give me my moment." Never scored at Wembley. I'm so not over that. I can't even remember where I was going to go with the next question. Long-term goal. Do you feel like I'm going to be deep with this question?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Strictly could completely change the dynamic of your future career? Because if you do well on that is a monumental show. Do you feel like it could have a stratospheric impact on your career?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a whole different audience there. If things go well, there's definitely going to be more doors open, more avenues to sort of explore. But I think I've always been since it's become my job, I've always been very YouTube focused.
Yeah.
And I think it would take a lot to sway that.
Right.
And I think there's stuff that YouTube offers that TV can't that I think is more attractive to me. The whole having full creative control, not having to sort of answer to someone upstairs who's like, that's good, but unfortunately we can't say that because of these ties.
Yeah,
or this
okay.
It's nice to have that. And also it's fully your schedule. You
I like
want to shoot this day, you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
So in terms of 5 years, 10 years, do you have a 5-year, 10-year plan? Or
I think just keep posting. I think I've always said, like, in answer to the question, like, where do I want to be in 5-10 years? I've always said, just keep posting on YouTube, like enjoying it, and just be in a place where if somebody sort of comes up and goes, like, oh, you're George, right? And I'm like, yeah. They say, oh, I love your videos.
Yeah.
Like, I think you make really good videos. Because it's like whatever people come up and say is lovely. And I'll never sort of like shy away from it. It's like a really cool thing to have.
really nice thing.
But at the moment, it's very much like, oh, I find you really funny, or you're this, or yeah. And I'm like, I love that. That's so cool. But I want it to, just that slight tweak for me is like, oh, they watch my videos, that like all that effort I put into the video, like I see that they can recognize that, and that's their first thought in their head when they
that's a lovely sentiment. And just finally, advice for others. We always end with this. What advice you have for people that want to follow in your esteemed footsteps?
I think the one thing I always say is, and I think it slightly is similar to the thing I said about the sort of Mr. Beastification of YouTube, is obviously take advice from different places or take inspiration from different places, but if you want to be the best you can be, the only way you can guarantee you're going to be that is if you be yourself, because nobody else is going to be better at that than you are.
It's a great way to end it. I love that. George, I've got to say, mate, firstly, thank you so much. You're so busy. You've made time for me, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you absolutely smash it on Strictly.
Thank you very much.
And I'm excited to see where the next few years have. Thanks for coming on, mate. Top man.
Absolute pleasure.